Hey everybody, this is Allen Devlin with Atlanta News First here, joining you this happy Valentine's Day. I hope you all are enjoying your Tuesday evening so far, whether you are with your boo or single. Either way, it's a great day to celebrate love, even if you're not maybe the one getting it this time around. But happy Valentine's Day to you. We've got a couple of stories I want to jump into and talk to you about real quick here this fine Tuesday. We're going to start with one that's being met with a lot of controversy here, and it's been building for a while, and we're seeing it across state lines as well. Now it's coming to Georgia, something you may have heard about. It is State Bill 88, the Rights to Humanity and Private Education Act, but it's also known by its counters as the Don't Say Gay bill. Now, this bill is basically something that is going to prohibit certain discussions about LGBTQ culture, history, or its connection to America in elementary school, in the primary grades, K, first grade, second grade, third grade. You remember those days. This bill is looking to take this portion or any opportunities to discuss this part of America out of that form of education. So you've got the people for it that are saying that this is not something that these young kids need to be talking about or being taught at this age. They are not supposed to be exposed to something like this, homosexuality, everything that comes with it. And then you have the people who are staunchly against the bill saying it is way too vague and it is preventing children from learning an important part of American history and current American culture. So there's this back and forth. And today specifically, it was introduced to the floor and it was discussed amongst some of our leaders, many of them you're looking at right now. And after it was discussed and there was pushback and for and against, there was a press conference at the State House at 4 o'clock today in which several members against the bill spoke up against how it is just too vague and too all-encompassing, and it's doing the gay community a disservice, especially in a city like Atlanta, which has such a high population of members of our gay community. So that is something that, of course, is not passed. It has a long way to go before it ever becomes law, but it's being discussed right now. And so if you're on Facebook, if you're joining me on Facebook, leave a comment, let me know what you feel or how you feel about a bill like this. Again, for and against at this point, but there's still a long way to go for that bill before anything becomes law. The next story is a sad one that we've been talking about for a while. It's an update to that story. I'm going to show the girl. This is 16-year-old Susanna Morales. You've seen her before. We've been talking about her for a while. Her body was found last week after being missing since summer of last year, and a former Doraville police officer was actually arrested in connection to her death. Police deemed her death a homicide, but this officer wasn't arrested on homicide. This officer, Miles Bryant, with the Doraville Police Department, former officer, there he is. His first court appearance was today. He was arrested and charged with lying to officers, concealing a death. That is not a homicide charge. So with that comes a lot more questions. If they're saying it's a homicide, is there another suspect out there? Are they suspecting this officer was involved in more ways than just lying to police officers? We don't know, but we're following the story very closely. And as soon as we learn more information, we will let you know. Earlier this week, Susanna Morales was buried over the weekend. This is video of her funeral after her body was found. This family had no clue what happened to her for about 8 months. When she went missing back in the summer of 2022, she was walking from a friend's house to a friend's house around 10 o'clock at night. And the last video we have of her was her walking on the side of the street, and that is it. She vanished. And of course, last week they found her body in Decula, I believe, and from there it developed. And this officer, I'll put him up again, was once again arrested. He's right now with no bond, and this case is still moving forward. A lot of questions left unanswered at this time, but as we get those answers, we're going to let you guys know as quickly as we can online and, of course, on television as well. Third story and final story I want to talk to you guys about tonight, something I'm sure you've heard about. It's a national story happening in Michigan. Michigan State University experienced a tragedy last night, something that we see all too often on college campuses here in our country. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pull up an example. Let's see, give me 1 second here, guys. I'm going to cut the sound. So what we have is an unfortunate situation out of Michigan State where a gunman got on campus, opened fire while classes were going on, and shot and killed 3 students. This is the suspected gunman right here. Now, mind you, police found this same man dead with a gunshot not far from campus. This is officers swarming that campus late last night. It was a lockdown in place. You can kind of see where some of these shootings happened. Now, police are saying the gentleman who has been identified as Anthony McCrae, that's the suspect, has no ties to campus or Michigan State. He is not a professor. He's not a former student. There's nothing there. He walked on campus, opened fire, killed 3 students, those 3 dead. Harper Woods, Grosse Pointe, and Alexandria Verner, and then 5 others are injured right now, some of them in critical condition. It's a sad story, of course, and we don't have a motive right now. We have no clue why this happened. You can see this video right here, one of the doctors who treated those victims breaking down in tears at the press conference discussing what happened. Now, I want to see if I can pull up an interview with a student who was caught in the fray, was asked to run when officers swarmed the campus. Let's take a listen in here real quick and listen to what he had to say.
We were there locked in the rooms, and the guys were telling us to run out the back doors as quick as we can and run for our lives. And I sprinted out there as fast as I can into the woods.
Fast as he could into the woods. That's something that's terrifying to think about, that you as a college kid are ever found in a point where you are literally running for your life with officers approaching you, guns drawn, to try to save your life. It's an unfortunate situation. We still have no motive, and we're waiting to learn exactly why this gunman, this suspected gunman, would walk onto a college campus and shoot and kill innocent students. That one's still developing in Michigan. Those are the 3 I have for you today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, it's happy Valentine's Day to all of you. And with your Valentine's night forecast, I want to introduce meteorologist Patrick Pete, who's going to show up for us real quick and talk a little bit about what's coming this week. I hear we've got a couple of first alerts in the forecast, Patrick, right?
We do. Thankfully, we're not talking about a first alert tonight, but we're going to be talking about it in a couple of days. If you're thinking about stepping out, listen, I hope you're already in your car and you're watching me on Facebook or something, because we are tracking clouds that are going to be building through the overnight, and then a few showers tomorrow. Now, the good news, the rain that's moving into the forecast tomorrow isn't going to be an all-day affair. It's not going to be a washout, and I don't expect all of you to see it. That's why it's only a 40% chance of showers. But folks that are along and north of the I-20 corridor, you're going to have the best opportunity to see some of that rain. Thankfully, that rain isn't too intense, therefore we're not first alerting it. But as we head towards Thursday night into Friday, we have first alerts that are going to begin Thursday evening and linger through early Friday morning, as we're going to see rain, some of which is going to be heavy at times, but also some thunderstorms, some of which are going to be on the stronger to severe side. So those showers and storms move in, really impacting folks that have any late night plans on Thursday, folks that are working third shift heading to work around midnight. And then all of you that get up early morning, roughly 5, 6, and get on the roads, there's going to be some lingering rain early Friday morning. So let's get you through the next couple of days, which tomorrow is going to be the more tame of the 2 days. We're going to be watching for a little bit of moisture to build into the area as we head around 7 a.m. So some spotty showers during the morning commute shouldn't be too overwhelming. We're talking about maybe needing to throw on that second lever on the windshield wiper. We'll be watching that moisture linger through the afternoon, and you can see that it's going to be in this same region where you see those widely scattered showers in the morning and afternoon. We're going to be looking at those same areas as we head into the evening. Just for a frame of reference, this is because of a frontal boundary that's going to stall out, and we're just going to see these short waves move along that, and that's just going to be where the energy comes from. But nothing that's too overwhelming. We'll be tracking that as we head into the 5 o'clock hour, and I think that if you're in places like LJ, extreme northern Georgia, that's where those showers are going to put a bit of a damper on your evening commute. And then that moisture lifts on northward as we head into Wednesday night, and we'll have a little bit of dry time before the main event. And we do have that potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. We're under a level 1 for a large chunk of the region. That's going to include Metro Atlanta. Level 1 out of 5 potential for strong storms. But if you're in extreme northwest Georgia, you're going to have that opportunity to have that level 2. Same risk there. Looking at all of our data here, it looks like we're going to have enough energy embedded in this line to get some lightning. So there will be some rumbles of thunder. There will be periods of heavy rain. Our primary focus, though, for severe is going to be the damaging wind gusts. There's going to be the ability for some of these thunderstorms to produce wind gusts roughly 60 plus miles per hour. So we will be dialed into that and tracking that live for you throughout the evening. Here's how we get through your Thursday into Friday morning. So noticing it around the 6 to 7 o'clock hour, we're still dry in the morning. So that first alert for Thursday isn't for the entirety of the day. So when you walk out of the house and the day looks fine, just a little cloudy, you're not misguided. It's just that the activity occurs later on in the evening. The numbers are going to be mild because we have southerly flow that's going to be pumping in that warm air. So we'll be in the mid to upper 50s when you're walking out to the car. So it's going to feel quite nice when you get up and you walk outside Thursday morning. If you're a person who maybe likes to jog or run outside and you can get into work maybe at 30 minutes to an hour later and you want to get out and do some running, that's going to actually feel quite nice. As we head into the afternoon, those numbers climb into the mid to upper 60s. We're going to have some folks flirting with 70 degrees by 1 o'clock. Noticing that still we're mainly dry, the stray sprinkle going to be possible. As we head into the 6 to 7 o'clock time frame, that's whenever some of that moisture will gradually start to seep in. And by around 9 o'clock, I'm expecting folks to start to really pick up on some of the heavier rain, some of the lightning, and some of the thunder. Now, it's important for us to be aware because we all travel throughout the day with our phones and our laptops, and hopefully you have your Atlanta News First news and weather apps both downloaded on your phone. But while traveling throughout the day, you're probably going to get some notifications about some pretty strong storms. They're going to be moving in between Mississippi and Alabama, more than likely producing several tornado warning cells. We'll probably get some confirmation of, unfortunately, sometime of this system before it makes its way here. The thing to know is that this system will be weakening through the day. So while we still have the potential to see some strong storms and there's still a very low end potential for an isolated tornado, the greatest risk for that type of weather will be to the west. So we're expecting this line to decrease as it approaches the state of Georgia. So I want to preface that with the potential for these thunderstorms to be moving through the area as we head into the 9 o'clock hour. That line will linger as we get closer to midnight and push further south. And we're still going to be expecting to hear some rumbles of thunder through the night and still some periods to heavy rain sliding through as we head into early Friday morning. You can see how at 7 a.m. on Friday morning, we still have rain that is going to be hugging the I-85 corridor. Because of that, that first alert is still in effect through the 7 o'clock hour on Friday morning. The good news on the backside of that, we're actually expecting the second half of Friday to be quite dry, but temperatures are going to be cooling because those winds are going to shift on the other side of that front. And we're going to see those daytime highs actually reaching the low 50s Friday afternoon. And by Saturday morning, it's going to be cold. We're talking about sub-freezing temperatures at the airport, which means that a lot of our other communities outside of the airport are going to be in the 20s Saturday morning because the airport's normally warmer, one of the warmer locations in our viewing area. So we're talking about mid to upper 20s in places like Rome, Gwinnett County. It's going to be colder. So if you're getting up early Saturday morning, you have plans, running errands, it's going to be cold. But thankfully, the weekend is dry. And Sunday, there's actually quite a boost. We're talking about temperatures that are going to rebound into the lower 60s. So that's going to be a win. That's going to be the day to do anything that you want to get done outdoors. I know a lot of you probably avoided making plans this weekend because Sunday wasn't really the best date to do a Valentine's Day date, on account of the Super Bowl. And Saturday wasn't the best day on account of it was a little damp and a little cold and chilly. So I know maybe you were thinking about planning your Valentine's Day weekend dinner sometime next week, maybe just to kind of miss the crowds throughout the work week. Sunday's going to be that day for you to do it because you'll be able to plan a nice little walk in the park for a couple of hours as temperatures are going to be in the lower 60s. And then we get into the upper 60s by Monday, and then we're already watching another chance for some showers trickle back into the forecast on Tuesday. So with all of this stuff that's going on in the forecast, especially as we head through the next 36 to 48 hours, make sure you have our app downloaded, the First Alert Weather app. We're updating it constantly throughout the day, and we're getting updates on all of our different models and data sources every hour on the hour. Team of 7 meteorologists. That's why we have 7 of us, so that we can go through all the data and give you the most up-to-date information as we get it in. So, of course, meteorologist Fred Campagna is actually working in the Weather Center right now, preparing a forecast for 9. We're going to have that amended forecast for you at 9, 10, and 11 o'clock. For now, I'm going to leave you with the 7-day forecast so that you can make plans. Hopefully those plans include having your umbrella on tap Thursday evening into Friday morning, having that jacket on tap for Saturday, and then just be preparing to have a Sunday fun day on Sunday as temperatures get back into the 60s. Y'all have a good night.